Are your thoughts and emotions like this as you go through your day? How can you settle your thoughts just like a snow globe that's at rest? Isn't that a great snow globe? That's the subject of this short video. I'm Chaplain Greg Holden, and this is Dharma for Doctors, Spiritual Care for Caregivers. A social worker I know asked me for tips on how I seem to be calm all the time. The key words here are seem to be calm. I'm a human being, and I worry a lot, mostly about things that haven't happened yet and might not happen. That's my specialty. When there's a trauma coming into the ED or people who are upset in the ICU, I seem kind of calm. At least I try to radiate calm. This is a very calm being. I try to be like her. Here are 3 tips and 1 trick on how you can be calm when there is a storm blowing all around you. 1. Lower your idle speed. As you probably know, if you start your car on a cold day, it runs really fast. That's called high idle setting. That setting allows the engine to warm up more quickly. After some time, the engine starts to run slower. Or you can tap the accelerator and the engine slows down and remains in low idle. When you go through your day with your heart racing and your thoughts swirling around, you're in high idle. You're in the red zone. If you habituate yourself to being in low idle regularly every day, kind of like daily, a wonderful thing starts to happen. Instead of the habit of thoughts swirling around work or things to do or things in the news or worries, you start to develop a habit of quiet and calm. You start to go into low idle. Your heart rate slows. You're alert, expectant, but you're calm. This can take a long time. It can easily take years to make a big difference. But you can see a difference right away. Start meditating every day, even if only for a couple minutes or 5 minutes. See if you can build up the time you meditate every day. As you meditate, you're not thinking of nothing. That's called lizard meditation. You are not a lizard. You are just observing. You're building the habit of observing everything around you. You watch your thoughts arise and let them go by. You bring yourself back to a state of quiet over and over as many times as you need to. You develop a habit of watching sounds and events around you. You become a little detached, and that's okay, because this helps you feel detached and react in an observational way when a storm blows up at work or someone cuts you off in traffic. You gotta give yourself a moment before you react. And maybe you don't react so strongly. Number 2, focus on one thing. So much anxiety comes from thinking about what's going to come in the future or what happened in the past. Try to focus what's right in front of you and put aside everything else. When I was a resident chaplain, I responded to trauma calls coming into the emergency room. The doors would burst open and the paramedics would hurry in and be directed to one of the trauma bays. Lots of orders were called out and lots of information exchanged very quickly. As the chaplain, I stood back and watched things transpire for a moment. I stood in the corner, and when the patient's belongings, wallet or purse and so forth, were retrieved, they would be handed to me. I would count any cash and give the ID and insurance information to the appropriate people. It was sort of easy to be focused on one thing, the thing right in front of me, because It was also intense. This helped keep me calm. Try to do the same thing with the situations you encounter as a caregiver or anywhere. Focus on one thing at a time as best you can. Number 3, remember your motivation. You remember why you're doing what you do. You are there to care for and help people, and they need you. Go into situations with this in mind, and it will calm you down. For a long time, I would go to a patient's room or a meeting of some sort, and I would be thinking, what am I going to run into now? What's going to happen? What are people going to think of me? Naturally, I became nervous. Instead of doing this, take a moment, take a deep, mindful breath. Tell yourself, I'm here to help these people. I'm here to help this person. I'm going to do the best I can. If you are into prayer or intention, you can ask your guides or beings who are important to you for their help. This never fails to calm me down. There are some famous paintings of Jesus calming the storm. One is by the Dutch artist Bruegel. He is in a boat and there's a huge storm going on, and he's taking a nap. A big wave is about to wash over the boat. The crew is terrified. They wake him up. He says, "O ye of little faith," and calms the water. That's where that phrase comes from. I'm so glad to learn that. There are also images of Buddha calming the ocean based on a story from his life. And the Japanese Buddhist priest Nichiren calming the water by reciting the Lotus Sutra. You create your reality with your state of mind. Your vibrations make your surroundings calmer. Now I mentioned a trick. Here it is. You might not be calm, but you can look calm. Think of a duck swimming along, or these geese and ducks. Under the water, their legs are moving furiously, but above the water, they seem to be gliding along effortlessly. Be like that duck or swan. Be like a swan. You might be nervous, but your patients or the people you're caring for don't need to see that. So to sum up, let's sit quietly and reflect. Slow your idle speed. Go into low idle. Watch what's going on around you. Any sounds that come up, just acknowledge them, let them go by. Come back and focus on your breath. Resolve that the next time you encounter a situation that has you anxious or panicky, you'll just watch. You'll take a little step back and be detached. Remember why you're doing what you're doing. You're there to help, and you are needed. Your skills can really benefit people. I thank you so much for watching. How do you stay calm? Tell us in the comments below. Let's share some information and ask any questions that come to you. Please subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you soon. This is Chaplain Greg Holden, and this has been Dharma for Doctors, Spiritual Care for Caregivers. Until next time, I wish you calm and peace.